Why work on more important stuff when we can create some really cool images in Photoshop using generative fill as well as the reference option in the Photoshop beta that I'm using now? It's likely going to be available to you soon, where you can actually reference photos for what you're generating. If you're interested in downloading Photoshop beta, which will have new features before the general public gets access, you should be able to access this with your Adobe subscription under the Creative Cloud app under beta. You can install your Photoshop beta app, and it's a completely separate app that you can play around with. So how did we get to here? Let me show you. First, I got this portrait from an instructor summit I went to. I'm going to take my lasso tool and I'm going to draw a circle around my head. And then in the beta version, if I click into the generative fill, I have this reference image option. Here I can choose an image, and I have this cat image that I downloaded from Envato Elements. I did crop this because I had the full image of the cat and it wasn't working, so you're going to have to play around with this. And then I'm just going to type in cat head. You're also going to have to play around with the prompting, exactly what the prompt is. Sometimes you might be able to just leave it blank and it might work, or you might have to type in cat head, cat, something like that, if you're doing exactly this. So here I have now a couple different options, which I think are pretty good. I kind of like this one, like looking off to the distance. I think that one's pretty good. Now, of course, I could have gone in there, added that specific cat image or found a specific cat image, tried to blend these images together, but this was a quick way to do it. Now, how could I quickly remove this background? If I want to non-destructively do this, which we always want to do, right? I can duplicate these layers by copying them and then just merge the layers here. So to quickly remove the background, the easiest way to do this is to click the remove background option, and now I can generate a background. So here I can type in modeled photo backdrop. That is that sort of classic photo portrait backdrop for school photos or 90s, 80s family photos that you would see. And these are pretty darn good. And I kind of like how this one even has a shadow, although the colors in this one are even more epic. So I'm going to use this one for now. Okay, so similarly, we have our two layers now. We have the inside and outside. All right, so now what I'm going to do is take my lasso tool, create a selection down here, and we're going to type in a cat wearing a t-shirt. Now you can see this resulted in not what I was looking for. So let's try prompting differently. A cat son wearing a t-shirt. And again, we didn't get it. So what I'm going to do, let me delete that layer again. Something I found is just redrawing the layer or the selection, maybe making it smaller. Another cat in this family photo wearing a shirt. And now we have a couple good options. So if we want more variations of this, we could, although I kind of like this one here. Now let's draw one more selection over here. Another cat child wearing a turtleneck shirt. And again, see, that one didn't work. Now let's try this again. I'm actually going to reference that same image. All right, so in this prompt, which was a kitten wearing a shirt, we got one not wearing a shirt, but I'm going to go ahead and generate similar. You can see that a couple of those other options weren't of cats themselves, but referencing that image resulted in a cat that looks like the dad cat here, which I think works a little bit better. Now this one here, these ones don't look exactly like it, but I think something like this could work. Now, depending on which one we want to go with, we might want to expand the edge of this portrait now. So if I take my crop tool and I just go out just a little bit on each side, and maybe let's go ahead and go down just a little bit and then just click generative expand, it's hopefully going to expand the edge of this image, referencing what's already in the image. Now, in this tutorial, you have seen a lot of fun things. You've seen the new reference image feature and how that works. And that did a pretty good job. Hey, see, look at that one. That one's pretty good. But we've also seen how prompting isn't perfect and it's not going to give you the exact photo or image that you want every single time. And you have to do things again, maybe choose a different area or selection to prompt, maybe reference an image or not. And so it's going to take some time to play around and get it right. However, I do think this is a pretty good image. And compared to the first one, actually, I think I don't know. They're both pretty good. This one's totally like awkward, how the cats are like looking right off camera, but both are pretty good. Hopefully this fun tutorial taught you some new tips and tricks for using the generative features in Photoshop, and we'll see you in another lesson. Cheers.